Find yourself in a situation where you just don't think you can win? Well, here's the Goo Gun 6000, the ultimate weapon for goo dispersal. Just squeeze that trigger and let your goo fly. That and a whole lot more coming up today on the Geekasaurus. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for our final discussion of the professions in Guild Wars 2. Well, at least the basic intro discussions from the beta. I'm sure I'll be doing more of these videos further on, but right now, this is it. The Engineer. We have made it to the end. Covered all of them. Alright, before we get too much into it, I wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday's beta stress test. It was stressful on me. I was not able to get all the video recorded that I wanted to. Because it was a stress test, they were taxing the servers which is appropriate. It's a beta test, and it's specifically designed to stress the servers. So loading times were excruciatingly long, and I know it's not going to be like this on release because the last beta was way better than this as far as connectivity goes. I was successful, however, in getting my Ranger PvP videos made. I did have to make a new Ranger character, but because you can jump in PvP at level 1, I was able to do it. I actually waited till about level 5 or 6 to start my PvP. More of that stuff to come later on in the week. Okay, let's move on into the Engineer. Unlike other classes, the Engineer does not have the ability to swap weapons. To step back a little bit and describe Guild Wars 2 for those who might not know, your weapons indicate what spell or ability you're going to use. So if you have a gun, it does one thing. If you have a sword, it does something else. Engineers make up for this lack of ability in swapping weapons on the fly by having a cubic buttload of turrets and trinkets and gizmos that they can use in a vast array of combat scenarios. That's not to say that the Engineer does not have a huge array of weapons at their disposal. They do, but they also have other stuff. Let's jump into that right now. Their weapons in the main hand, they have a pistol. Offhand is a pistol, shield, and two-handed rifle. That's it for their weapons. But they get the toolkit, the grenade kit, the bomb kit, the mine kit, the med kit. Weapon kits also include flamethrower and an elixir gun, turrets, rifle turret, thumper turret, net turret, flame turret, and healing turret. OMG. So sort of the flip side of the Ranger, they don't have any bows or any kind of sword or anything like that. They just have guns. Okay, they have a shield too. From my limited play with the Engineer, I will say that they do seem to have the only direct heal, well, sort of direct heal of other party members early on in the game. They can launch a healing elixir to an area to heal people. And this is one of the very first abilities that they get. The reason for that is the utility skills that are on 6, 7, 8, and 9 will change what F1, F2, F3, F4 does. So the utility skill number 6 right off the bat is a healing one, so F1 becomes a healing AoE. While on the surface the Engineer class appears to be one that blows stuff up all the time, they actually are quite a good healer and buffer through their elixirs that they will get in their utility bar on the right. When you think Engineer, I think you want to think utility, utility, utility. There is no direct comparison with another MMO, for example, like World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, you could be an Engineer as a profession, but you couldn't play an Engineer. You see what I mean? So this is sort of a new profession in MMOs. There are other ones that are similar, but nothing that is as encompassing as this one. I believe the closest I've ever seen was in Warhammer Online. But even that was just different enough to be called similar, but not exactly the same. Which I appreciate ArenaNet for creating a class that is as unique as the one found in this game with the Engineer. Okay, so my overall impressions of the Engineer. Unfortunately, did not spend all that much time with it. I will have to say my time with it was very special. It's not a playstyle that I'm very comfortable with, which means that I did enjoy it, but it just wasn't for me. I will say that this class, in my opinion, has the chance to become the most epic in the game as far as their overall abilities and skill sets can overwhelm an opponent in PvP, and in PvE, they are the ultimate utility masters. I promise ArenaNet that if you give me a couple more betas to play, I will definitely spend more time with the Engineer. That about wraps it up for the Engineer for today. I will cover this in greater detail later on. All of the professions I will cover in greater detail the more I get to play them. Tomorrow we will start covering the basics of and hopefully the bird outside my window will stop chirping. After the basics are done, we will cover the interface, also the money shop, buying gems and gold. Then we will cover some PvP, guild interface, grouping, and wrap it up with my overall impressions of the game as it stands now. I really appreciate you all watching and subscribing. It's been a lot of fun. I hope these videos have been helpful to you, at least to give you a little bit of the flavor of each class. If you like my silly little videos, please subscribe and like them or whatever, wherever you find them. I appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. So until next time, see ya!